How many of you decide that, you want to do one of your builds in a cave, or, you do something on a perimeter where you got to build real low down and then you make it dark. And then these guys show up in your water streams. It just ruin your day. They break your collection. They have items that build up. Maybe you've got mobs going through a water stream that they just sit there and bounce off of the friggin' glow squid. Oh yeah, here's a great example. Or they just like jump out of the water, die, and then drop their ink sacs into your system. I hate these guys. Back in 1.17 when they first came out, they at least you could at least control them by not putting stone below them. So you just say, okay, just don't make your item streams out of stone and you're fine. You make it out of glass or concrete or dirt or wood or literally anything but one of the stone type blocks. And then there are no worries about squid. And then 1.18 was like, nah, that's not exactly the case. We're just going to spawn them everywhere and make you hate your life. That's it. I officially declare war on glow squids. Okay, so now is normally the time where I apologize for my cringy jokes, or I do the oh, I'm just kidding. Let's move on. Right? Oh, I creep myself out. Let's go back to what we were doing, okay? Not this time. I hate glow squid. Yeah, when glow squid were first added, I was like, I don't care, whatever. They had weird spawning rules. People were excited about oh, glow item frames, cool, whatever. But then they wore off very quickly. You could at least control them, and then 1.18 came along and was like, hey, I have an idea. Instead of being able to control their spawns with having stone below them, let's just have them spawn everywhere below Y level 30. Why not? Sure. There's water in that cave? Sure, let's spawn one there. Oh, there's water in your collection system? By all means, let's spawn one there. I will die on this hill. I do not like glow squid being in the game. So we're going to make a switch to stop glow squid spawning. Now, as far as I am aware, so asterisk, as far as I'm aware, there is no way to make a persistent glow squid that counts towards the mob cap besides having it right next to you. So we got to get close to some glow squid. Now you can see up at the top of my screen where I have the carpet mud showing my mob caps. You can see in kind of the middle there is a 1/5 with a green 1 and a white 5. That is the mob cap for glow squids. They don't fit into the normal passive mob cap. They don't fit in with fish. They have their own. And we're going to see in just a moment when this glow squid dies, that's going to go down to -1. /. That means that there are no glow squids. So what we need to do in order to get glow squid to not spawn is get above that mob cap. So right now we're at 5 of 5. We can't spawn any more glow squid here in our single player world. If we had a 2-player world, we'd want to get that up to 10. And there we go. So now, no matter where our two, me and my friend are, we can't have any glow squid spawning. Problem is, like I said, you need to be next to them. And if you want to turn it off and leave the area, well, then what do? That's what this contraption is doing right here. If you can get a glow squid into a minecart, yes, it does not count towards the mob cap, but it will not despawn. So this is currently in its off state. We have that redstone lamp showing that it's off. If we want to turn on, all we need to do is get these guys out of their minecarts in a controlled environment to make sure they can't suffocate themselves. So each one of these squids in a minecart has its own little water cell right here that's going to keep it right next to the rail to be picked up again. So when we want to run this, we just stand on top of this glowstone right here. And if I turn on my despawn sphere, my Ken despawn sphere, you can see this 32 block sphere radius around the player. This whole thing is inside of there, so these guys can't despawn. And I know I said we've got 10 in here. You could only do 5 if this is a 1-player world and you're doing some kind of a farm for it. Or you could expand out, you have room to make extra layers of this if you're doing, a server with, like 6 people on it, then you do 30 glow squids, and that makes sure that you can never get up past that number. Or maybe you like leave a carpet bot here or a player here. What we're going to do is we're going to flick this lever, and it's going to shoot them all into their little cages here. So let me hit that lever. So now they are there. Let me turn on hitboxes as well. They are there. They are touching water, so they won't suffocate. And they are easily able to get shot on top of that slab. If we have a solid block, sometimes it shoves them out on top of the rail. We don't want that. If we don't have any like block there, then obviously they're just going to fall out because glow squids don't swim good at all. I mean, this visual glitch is still in the game. This is not an actual glitch, just a visual one. They're not actually flying out of the blocks. So you can see now we've got 10 in those cages there. And if I look back at my mob cap, I have 10/5, meaning I'm at 10 out of 5. So I would need to have another player come on, 2 more players come on in order to get that to like 10 to 15 in order for more mob glow squid to spawn. Because 118 did add player-based spawn spheres. So yes, like I can only have 5 around me before it will want to spawn more around me. But there's also a global mob cap. So if you have 30 of them in this area on a 6-player server, even though there are 30 of them by 1 player, that still also applies to the global mob cap. So you want to think of the total number and get that inside of your switch, the total number you can have. So maximum 5 per player. That's if you're in different locations. If you're all in the same area, it's going to be less. It divides the area and all that type of thing. But basically just you want to go for 5 per player that you expect to be there. Now, the only thing is if I leave this area without putting them back into their cells, they can despawn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We can see the minecarts are going to go pick them up out of their cell, and it's just going to hold them in the minecart. Now, even when I leave the sphere, no matter where I go, those minecarts are still going to be there. They're still going to have the glow squid in them, so they're not going to despawn. One thing to note, this is going to be directional just because of the way the rails are. If you don't build it this direction, then you have to make sure that you're doing some powering on these curve rails to make them curve like that. But otherwise, I've included signs in here, so this is west, this is east. If you don't have directions for mini HUD, this is sunrise, this is sunset. So we're going to see now my mob cap is at 0 out of 5. Let me go ahead and turn this on. We're going to see it very quickly jumps up to 10 out of 5. Turn it off. Boom. Back down. So that's how it's operating. One thing to note that I have seen, this is not spam proof. So if you don't want to have someone come and spam it, the minecarts can get a little screwed up where sometimes it's not going to actually pick up the squid on its way back. If you try and do it too fast they're not supposed to have some kind of minecart cooldown, but it seems like they do. So let me see if I can get it to happen. Yeah, there we go. We saw it happen. So I hit it too fast. Now we have the minecarts here where they should be stored. All you need to do is just turn it back on and then turn it back off after a moment, and they'll pick right back up there. Either position they're in, they are inside of water, so they're not going to suffocate. It's something weird. Like, I hate these guys. There is no reason why they shouldn't be able to get picked up by the minecart. But So like I said, remember, big note, if you are going to leave the area, you need to get them back into the minecarts or they are going to despawn. As far as capturing these guys in minecarts, it's not that difficult. Just, get yourself like an area, like a square of water set up with some rails under it and just throw some minecarts in there going back and forth, and they'll get picked up. Then drop them in. And like I said, as long as you turn it off when you leave, you could even do something like change this over to like a pressure plate on top of here. So put a pressure plate there, that type of thing. And that way you don't have any issues with that. I would also recommend maybe having a portal right here in the area and then leave the area using the portal. That way, if you have something like where you have a carpet bot on here running it, they're outside of their minecarts in their cages and the server crashes and then like you come fly back to turn it back on. All of a sudden they're out of the despawn sphere and they despawn. So maybe don't tear down your little system to spawn the glow squid, whatever you got to do there. But yeah, I'm going to be using this further in a design that's going to be coming up in the near future. And I just I got so frustrated with these darn glow squid. I wanted to get this out. So I'm sure no one enjoyed that. That was a terrible video because glow squids suck. But if you're not okay, it's okay not to be okay. And I'm definitely not okay with glow squid. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.